So we parked here right on Main Street, right? It's a convention center. And this is the Black Medical District. So we're basically dealing with the Black Medical District right here. And it was under Dr. Kizimekia Corbett. And we're gonna walk over across the way to look at John F. Kennedy. All right, I am asking for donations through PayPal, and you can use the QR here. A memorial. This is also known as a great time to believe, and also a great time to be alive, too. We'll go right over to the JFK and check it out. My shoelace is a little loose on the right side. So I may have to stop to tie my shoe in the middle of this. I don't like to cut if I can. This is the JFK. Now, in the evening of November, this was 1963. President and Mrs. John F. Kennedy, and that would be Jacqueline, they did arrive in Fort Worth to spend the night at the Hotel Texas, which is right down that way. Early the next morning, President Kennedy made an unscheduled outdoor appearance. This was unscheduled right here. So it was not scheduled. So the Secret Service flipped out. You can see this guy, how nervous he is. That's Secret Service. That's JFK. Now, he scheduled this meeting himself immediately. It was unscheduled, but it was an outdoor appearance and surprised a crowd that had gathered here. They were surprised, and they were here hoping to see him. And at breakfast in the hotel, he spoke to 3,000 people that suddenly appeared, emphasizing Fort Worth's role in defense and aircraft. And they were probably talking about the nearby Air Force Base. Now, production he accepted with good humor the city's traditional welcome gift of a local made Shady Oaks Western that the president and trip around Texas, though billed as a non-political, was surely brought about by infighting among Texas Democrats. So this is mostly for the Democrats at the time. Now, following breakfast on November 22nd of 1963, he did go to Dallas, and the president and his entourage left the Hotel Texas in a motorcade in Carswell Air Force Base for a short flight to Dallas. So he made it to Dallas, and on the drive to luncheon speech in Dallas, President Kennedy then was assassinated. So he was trying to get to a luncheon speech in Dallas. He was assassinated, bringing shock and grief to the Texas nation and the world. Okay? So that actually happened, and we're going to look at what JFK went through on November 21st of 2000. You know the year. November. He was actually killed on November 22nd. He was here November 21st. And there he is right there. John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the President of the United States. And he was killed by what we think is Lee Harvey Oswald, a lone gunman that was also a communist, an open communist. And he shot him. The first bullet went through his neck right here. About right there. Went right through his neck, all the way through the neck and out the neck right here. Now, the second bullet skipped off Elm. The third bullet from the 6th floor of the Texas Depositories hit him on this side of the head, knocking the scalp off. He went back into the left, or actually no, back into this direction. Back into the left when the bullet went through. His head went that way. You can see it on the Zapruder film, Abraham Zapruder film. And Jacqueline was right next to him when it happened. She witnessed her own husband killed right in front of her. She wrote some memoirs about it. She did write letters about it and stuff like that. They do have published information about her writing about the death of her husband, John F. Kennedy. A man may die. Nations may rise and fall. But an idea lives on. And that's his idea. He's one of my favorite presidents. Too bad he had to take it to the head, though. This was November 22nd, 1963, before the day of the tragedy. Saddened America everywhere. The people of Fort Worth revealed, and President John F. Kennedy's enthusiastically received visit to our city. Even though a cold, hard rain fell in the morning hours, thousands gathered outside the Hotel Texas to see and welcome our president. The rain stopped, and President Kennedy appeared on schedule to greet them. A platform had been erected for his speech, but President Kennedy first strode directly into the excited crowd, shaking hands. He thanked his large, rain-soaked audience and began his remarks. There are no faint hearts in Fort Worth. President Kennedy spoke of global economics and national defense, the country's ambitions in space, and Fort Worth's role in aviation history. This is history right here. His history. He challenged America to bear the burdens of leadership. Later, at the Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce breakfast in the hotel, he delivered a formal remarks and centered on Fort Worth's historic and continuing role in national defense. As the motorcade traveled Main Street, thousands cheered, and ticker tape rained from the office towers. The sun was shining, and the President Kennedy's last two speeches rang in the ears of those who had been lucky enough to hear them. Jim Wright, Fort Worth congressman, wrote that, Speaker of the House. Now, this is also done in Spanish, too, which I don't speak Spanish. But this is John F. Kennedy's President of the United States. He's got some more stuff here. He was born in 1917 on May 29th. And he was Catholic. He was an immigrant, Irish. Pretty cool. Yeah, this is a really important part right here too. It's about 100 degrees outside, so I'm going looking for some air conditioning. We celebrate the past to awaken the future. John F. Kennedy, 1960. He said that in 1960. I got to be a very good steward of the phone because we're in a lot of heat right now. This is a tribute. It was made possible through generosity of the following donors: a President's Circle, downtown Fort Worth. This is Taylor and Shirley Candy co-chairs cabinet right there, the city of Fort Worth, Jane Justice Foundation, and all the way down to Bob and Janice Simpson. The ambassador here is the Bass Foundation. The Bass Foundation was behind creating this, and the Supporters Alliance Texas, all the way down to Mr. and Mrs. Roger Williams. Says John F. Kennedy. Amazing right there. It's a great little site they have to show what happened on November 21st, the day before John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas. We're in Fort Worth right now. So John F. Kennedy was killed the next day, and that was an unscheduled speech that he had right here, where 3,000 people came to the city, all around here, packing the area to listen to him speak. All right? Huge building. Oh, wow, nice lobby. It's a nice place to have lunch or something. Yeah. Oh, come on. I can hear that. I didn't hear Peter Gabriel playing. You can hear it on the speakers here. It's amazing how they can get that. I'm going to go by one of the parking garages over here where you can't really hear. I'm scattering the noise for copyright purposes right here. Copyright purposes. Copyright purposes. Copyright. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think enough got in. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But you could hear it. I noticed it the last minute. They won't have it in the car. So right over here, you have what's known as a parking garage. That's right directly on the other side of the JFK Memorial. So if you come here, you can actually park. I don't know the pricing on it or anything, but you would be able to park, get a special ticket or something like that. And it's by UMB Bank. Here's one of the buildings. So this building right here, giant building, right on the other side is the JFK Memorial. So just for y'all, this is known as the Garage and Elevators Sky Bridge. I don't know if this was here when JFK did when he did make the speech or whatever before he was assassinated. So pretty cool. On this other side here, it's completely blocked. Look at this. Doesn't even look like doesn't look like anything, does it, when you walk by? Look. Right here. Look at that. Right through there. Watch this. Go right in here. Perfect little spot. Right here. And it's tinted windows. Can't see through that side. Can't think of a better spot. He wouldn't plan Fort Worth, that was for sure. He planted Dallas, the Texas Book Depository. But I was just noticing that, just kind of looking at it, thinking like Lee Harvey Oswald thought. This is actually kind of open right here, area. But I can't think of anything cozier right here. So if the president was ever coming down Commerce Street, this is where they'd want a guy right here for protection. Make sure this is roped off. Right here, that area, right there. This probably goes all the way up. That's right, yeah. They probably do pre-screenings like that before a president comes into a city to find little cubby holes like that. They probably rope those areas off and you know, get a guy there to watch it. Because you would never catch that in a million years. That'd be perfect for a little Lee Harvey Oswald incident. It's right off Commerce Street right here. You didn't even notice this right here. Now this side's not as good, but right here, it's a little cubby hole. Perfect for something. And that's exactly like Lee Harvey Oswald thought. Only it didn't happen in Fort Worth, it happened in Dallas, which is even a tougher town for something like that to happen. Fort Worth would have been a perfect place to kill him. And believe it or not, Lee Harvey Oswald lived in Fort Worth right before he moved to Dallas. He knew Fort Worth area better than Dallas probably. Yet he chose Dallas. Probably because there was more people there, and he wanted it to be, he was very grand delusional, you know, like grandeur, whatever. So he wanted people to see it. He wanted more people to witness the killing. He actually wanted to be caught. He was very sloppy after the incident. He went off maybe not even an hour later and killed a police officer right there on the other side of downtown, well, right there in downtown Dallas by the Texas Theater, which is miles from, well, it's a pretty good distance from the Texas Book Depository. He had to take a bus to get there. And he got off the bus, walked over to a police officer, and shot him several times. Well, the police officer asked him a question, but he pulled his revolver out and killed him. So he was already on some kind of killing spree during that day. So he probably did it. I'm leaning more to Lee Harvey Oswald being the killer. But why not start in Fort Worth if you're going to investigate it? Because he lived in Fort Worth. This is interesting. We've got more JFK stuff here. There's Jacqueline, Lyndon Johnson, and JFK still alive. Right here too. There's Lyndon Johnson, there's JFK, and there's Jacqueline. It says Texas right there, Fort Worth. There's Secret Service right there. There's JFK. More Secret Service. And that actually the photo taken in Fort Worth. At that speech that we're talking about. Here's some, I'll scan this real quick. Little article they framed right there. All Fort Worth right here in JFK. Right off 8th Street. Memorial is right down that way. Down that way and to the right. This is actually known as the Hilton. Clearance is 13.6 if you're trying to bring in a big drop. didn't even know this existed. It's an amazing building. Little luncheon table for buffet right here. Now, I did do some mime at the other one across the way. We did a whole mime thing. We'll be walking in a copyright here pretty soon. But we did a mime thing for Hip Pocket Theater. I actually played a mime. They did another thing that wasn't too far where I played Charlie Chaplin. Pretty cool little place. This too right here. Be cool to do a reenactment of the 2 days when JFK was shot, starting off in Fort Worth and in Dallas. Get someone to play JFK, it'd be a really cool thing. I wouldn't have any problems filming it at all. Fresh water. God, if you're a Secret Service agent, you must be a complete nervous wreck doing all this kind of stuff. All right, we're in a copyright right here. Pretty cool artwork too. Cool chairs. So I can help you with?
Well, I'm just security. I'm just wondering if I can help.
What kind of security? Got an ID on you?
Sure. I'm more happy to show you.
Yeah, I work for Alder Security. Can I see your ID? Andrew Hoolan?
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why you're approaching me?
Yes, sir, because I'm
on a 6-foot rule with COVID.
Pardon me?
Coronavirus puts me on a 6-foot rule. You're breaking my 6-foot rule.
Well, you're the one who took a step towards me, sir.
Okay, well, I'm taking a step back.
Okay, good. How can I help you, sir?
You may leave me alone.
Well, then you can please leave the building then.
For what purpose?
Because it's a private building and you
Right, and I'm a citizen.
Private, not public.
All right. Well, I'm still a citizen.
Okay, that's fine, sir.
And I have your name.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
That's great.
You may leave me alone.
You can leave the building, sir. I'm not going to leave you alone.
Oh, you're not going to?
You need to leave the building.
Well, I'll leave with my wife. How about that?
Does your wife work in the building?
Do you have a problem with that?
No, not at all. I'm just
Okay.
asking.
Well, I'll leave with my relative, which is my wife.
And that's
You'll leave
fine
me
with
alone.
me. And she works in the building.
That's none of your business.
You know, we're here for building security.
Right, and I'm here for my wife.
Okay. You just don't seem to be like you're waiting for someone.
You judging my behavior?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay, well, I'm asking you to leave me alone.
Sir,
I'm waiting for my wife.
okay, and her name?
That's none of your business.
It is, so I can make sure that she works in this building.
You don't need to make sure of that. That's my private business. It's my wife, not yours.
You're the one who brought your wife.
You have a business card? You don't have a badge.
No, I don't.
Okay, you can leave me alone.
I'm following you.
Okay. Hey. Come on. Come on, let's go. Huh? Well, tell them that you have to go. We have a parking meter that we have to meet.
Okay.
And if it goes on, I don't want to get a ticket.
Shh, please. Ruin this for me.
I'm not trying to ruin it for you. We have to go. Yeah, she's leaving. She's leaving right now with me. Okay, I'm waiting on her. I'm her ride, and I'm waiting on her. Huh? Okay? Well, she's waiting, and I'm leaving with her because I'm her ride. It's 103 degrees outside.
Go move your car.
Okay, I gotta go move it. We got about 10 minutes.
Okay, go move it.
Yeah, I'll wait out for what's she doing?
He's giving me a piece of paper.
What
You
kind of
don't
piece of
want to
paper?
piss off one person in this building.
What kind of piece of paper?
Go.
I don't know. I guess some nutcase. He supposedly works here. I don't know. He started asking all these questions. So you might want to be careful. Do you have a right to be here?
I didn't know that. I thought this was a public place. So.
He said it was a private place.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I thought it was public too. They have a restaurant here called a gourmet cafe. Obviously, it's not public. I thought it was. I don't know. Guess you still got a pass to get in. What kind of piece of paper is it? Kind of like that Superman. This is like Superwoman. Superwoman. All right, so we're in the middle of where the JFK Memorial happened, which I vlogged earlier. And I was approached by some security officer. Hey, it's over this way, right over here. And I don't know, he seemed real paranoid and shaky. I was perfectly fine, I don't know. So I don't know, why are you getting in the building? I thought it was a public place. Oh no, it's a private place. I'm like, oh, okay, well, we can do that thing. Waiting on my wife. Oh, okay, well, who is she? What's her name? It's none of your business. He obviously didn't watch the show. The guy's probably was born tail end of boomer, probably about the same age as Richard Linklater. Something Richard Linklater would probably do to me, or Richard Linklater would probably try to do to me, or Matthew McConaughey would probably say, back off, you know? You know, I don't give a crap who you are. I'm in the middle of Fort Worth. Is better than Austin. It's a great place to film. Anyway, we're gonna be coming up on the tail end of the JFK Memorial in Fort Worth. It's what it's remembering is November 21st of 1963. Now he was assassinated November 22nd, the next day. And this is it right here. So what I was trying to get was waiting on this thing right over here. But a man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on. The JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. And we're still okay. We got about 10 minutes on the meter. I put in about an hour and 15 just in case. It's cool that you can put coins in it. A lot of them you can't even put coins in it. A great time to be alive. Right here. This is sponsored by Gary Ann and Lacefield. It's about social ethics. See how much time I have left on the meter. I have exactly... See if you can see the time on that. Let's see what it says, how much time I have left on it. Let's say I have time left on it. Doesn't say anything? I know, I can't even. I think it says 3-0. It says F. That's F. That says F right here. That says F right there. I think it says an airplane flying over. Yeah, we're making sure the meters. Yeah, I think it's reading okay. I can't read it. I don't know. Yeah, get plenty of water. Second person that approached us in Fort Worth. You imagine, that's probably why JFK wasn't shot here. My goodness, his security is very high in Fort Worth. Yeah, that guy approached me. He was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm waiting for my wife. He was like, "Well, who are you?" I said, "Well, who are you?" And he gave me its badge. And I said, "Oh, okay, well, that's great. I work for a security company too." And he goes, "Well, what's your wife's name?" I was like, "Dude, back off. That's none of your business." And then he goes, I said, look, I'm on a 6-foot rule. I need you to back away. He's like, you approached me. And I said, no, I'm backing up. He starts shaking. I was like, what are you shaking for? I didn't get that part on the camera. He's like, oh, I don't know. I'll just call the police. I said, well, you know what? You know, freaking, who cares? Good, we'll give you an award. We'll give you a big award, put a medal outside and put your name on it. Actually, no, we'll put a statue of a security guard holding a CB. You know, I mean, it's like, I didn't say that, but I mean, it's like, what in the world? Okay, the security guard approached me and asked me what I was doing. I said, I thought this was a public place. He said, no, it's a private place. I said, okay, well, I'm sorry, I'm waiting on my wife. He said, well, what's your name? I said, that's not your business. What's your name? Can I see your badge? And he showed me his badge. His name was like whatever. I'll look it up later. And I said, well, you know, so I work for a security company too. You know, so what? I was like, look, I'm on a 6-foot rule because of Corona. Can you back up a little bit? He's like, I didn't approach you. You approached me. So I took 2 steps back. I said, well, I take 2 steps back. He goes, look, I'm going to call the police. I said, well, go ahead. I'm waiting on my wife. So, you know, maybe he did. I don't know.
All right, we need to go to Walmart.
I talked to the other lady that walked up to the information thing, and I said, did you know you're in a private place? You better not be here. And she goes, oh, I was looking for information. I was like, I was too.
Oh, that's who you were talking to?
It's a public place. It's a public place. They have restaurants in there and all kinds of stuff. The guy was just...
49 floors.
No, I was taking photos of the artwork. But who cares, you know? So what? They have cameras in there to take photos of the artwork all day.
Near me?